Move On did an ad, and this ad is effective because this is a punch him in the face ad. This is a Mitt Romney, you're a crook. And here's Tricky Mitt.
We already know Mitt Romney was CEO of Bain Capital while it was outsourcing good American jobs. And we already know he stashed as much as $8 million in tax shelters on the Cayman Islands. So what is it Mitt Romney doesn't want us to know? Maybe it's in the tax returns he refuses to share, or the felony he might have committed by making false statements about his role at Bain. We understand, Mitt. Sometimes the truth is tricky. Tricky Mitt. He's not a crook, right?
That's awesome. Exactly.
Oh, God damn it, there goes the kidney again. Okay, and by the way, this almost gives away the strategy.
Yeah.
I almost wanted to say during this ad, shh, because the Republicans had been falling into the trap so well. Because the trap is if you insinuate that he's a felon, they got to go all over TV and repeat your talking point by saying he's not a felon. He's not a felon, which then, of course, reminds everybody that he's a felon.
Right, and that was Richard Nixon. I mean, it's been almost 40 years since Richard Nixon was in office and since Watergate happened. So to a lot of people, this isn't something they talk about all the time. But he exactly what happened to you. You know, they said the president's a crook. The president's a crook. What does the president say? I'm not a crook. You know, so
and so I mentioned that not because Mitt Romney's in a court of law proven to be a felon or anything. We're talking about the politics of it, and that I'm not a crook line is used by linguists, by framing experts, by politicians, etc., as the gold standard for what not to do. Yeah. Okay, you don't come out and say I'm not a crook because then everybody thinks, oh, are you a crook? And so here it were the Republicans, even including Karl Rove, earlier in the week, going, he's not a felon, he's not a felon, he's not a felon. And so now this Move On ads makes it very, very clear where they're going with this.
And Cenk, further to that, if you know, the Romney campaign said they were going to go after President Obama for being a liar. They're going to go on this rampage saying liar, liar, liar all the time. They haven't really said it. They've danced around it. Here, the Obama campaign, this isn't their campaign. In fairness, this is Move On, but it's a surrogate in a way. And what they're doing is they're actually saying crook. They're saying these things about Mitt Romney. So the tables, and I don't know what did this, and you and I have talked about this, you know, on the air and off the air before. When did the tables turn? How did this happen? What catalyzed this to happen? The Democrats are actually saying crook and not apologizing for it.
Right, and you know, part of the problem with Romney saying that President Obama's liars is they have no facts to back it up. Yeah. When you look at the record, President Obama's team makes an excellent point. There is contradictory federal forms signed by Mitt Romney, and if you sign forms that you're lying in one of them, well, then that is a felony, right? So they have, but that's never stopped the Republicans before, right? They've of course come out and say, "Oh, who cares? You're a liar! Oh, goddamn liar!" Which leads me to the question: not only what changed in the Democrats and how they're running this incredibly strong campaign, but also, interestingly enough, what's changed in the Republicans. And so that leads to the question of whether they want to throw the game. Now, of course Mitt Romney doesn't, and I would imagine the majority of Republicans don't, right? But there are a lot of people within the Republican tent who despise Romney. And so who are the guys that went after Romney recently? Rick Tyler, saying he should release his tax returns. Used to work with Newt Gingrich. Right. Okay. Rick Perry used to run against Mitt Romney.
And Rick Tyler worked for Rick Perry as well.
Right. Ron Paul used to run against Mitt Romney, saying release your tax returns. And Weaver used to work for John Huntsman, running against Mitt Romney. And there's a great story out on Huffington Post today about how anybody who's ever run against Mitt Romney despises him with a burning passion. And so all those people who said, hey, wait a minute, don't nominate this guy because he's got all these problems, he can't hit Obama on health care, and then we had the huge health care decision come down and Mitt Romney couldn't hit him on taxes because he had the same exact mandate in Massachusetts. And then they said, hey, he's going to have a problem with his tax returns. Newt Gingrich said it, to be fair to him. He emphasized it. Now it turns out he's got huge problems with his tax returns. So there's this base inside the Republican camp that not only hates Romney, but it would have a little bit of a smirk on their face if he lost.